administration has shown a severe capability of being very petty. That's just who they are. They're okay. Look at what they just came out with. Just here, Trump's trying to push that. Hey, I want all the sports teams to change their names back to either the Washington Redskins. He wants them to go back to Washington. He wants the Cleveland Indians to go back to the Cleveland Indians. He said that he's going to shut down the stadium.
You got to remember during that point in time when they were quote unquote forced to change their name, and that's what it was, because even Indian tribes around that area, people that are Native Americans, so they didn't want that to happen. And I'm like, okay. I mean, what? I don't understand why. I mean, why change name to Guardians from Indians? I didn't understand where that was. The Redskins, I can kind of see it a little bit, but Indians, I don't know.
I don't really know a lot of natives who call themselves Indians, though.
I don't know how many. I mean, they were West Indians. We had
Were they West Indians?
No, they're Indians. I think Indians were.
Who made that name up to them, though? You know what I mean? Like, who gave you guys this name? You're West Indians. You understand what I'm saying to you, though? You understand what I'm saying? I get it. They call themselves Native Americans. That's what I always hear them say. I know we got a bunch of Native Americans around here.
The Washington Native Americans.
They didn't want to say that. That's just too much. We like the Redskins. Yeah. Who I've never heard a person call themselves a Redskin before. Have you ever heard of a Native person? I have red skin. They're like, this is my shirt. That's like saying that they're pretty much look like this. And like I've never heard that before.
No,
some of these names you have to look at, like some of these things that we've been indoctrinated into, like Aunt Jemima. You know what I mean? I use Aunt Jemima. I wouldn't know. I didn't even think about it. But if you look at the picture of the lady on there, Uncle Ben, look at the picture of the person on there, you have to understand the connotations of it. Like if you look at old school like cartoons and how they depicted Black people and Native Americans and everyone else. You know what I mean? Like you saw what they did. I saw it too. But as a kid, that's being pushed into your head. You don't know any different. So that's what you think that is real. Like I'm thinking, okay, but every time you see Superman, Batman, all the great things about anything going on, you see who you saw back then. You know what I mean? So it's an indoctrination type of thing. I think that people wanted to change that narrative. They could have come out. They could have called themselves the Washington Native Americans, but no one wanted to do that. Or you know what I mean? No. Oh, that just sounds. You could have done that. You could have made it a more politically correct thing, but it's either the Redskins or some. It was Dan Snyder. He was like, Washington Football Team. Well, that's what he came out with. He was so angry.
Dan Snyder, he did not want to change the name. He was against it 100%.
Dude. I think he was a racist anyway. I think he had some weird stuff that he would say and do, from what I recall about Dan Snyder. But it's just, to me, was I against the names? No, I grew up in Ohio, so we all knew the Cleveland Indians as the Cleveland Indians. That's what we knew them as, but did we ever? I never lived around Native American tribes at that time, but here I do, and I have Native American friends who, and I'm not saying that they're so adverse or so against these names, but they take pride in who they are. And there's when you've come over and you genocided a people, and now you're
I'm actually surprised they haven't stopped people from doing the tomahawk chop.
I mean, I think
that surprises me. For if you're going to change the name of a football team and a baseball team, and you're still letting them do this, which is Chiefs. That to me is a clear sign of violence. And what you're saying that all
they call
Native
the Chiefs.
Americans,
Kansas City Chiefs are a little different though. Because that's like there's no, like, you don't look at that with any kind of a racial stand. There's not the Chiefs. That's like a chief of a tribe. That's like a king almost to them. That's a positive to a degree versus the Redskins. You know what I mean? Like, you think that'd be like someone said the something black skins. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't want to be here. I'm like, that sounds crazy to me. Here you start talking like that. You know what I mean? Or something else, like, you got to look at those things. I mean, I think that we have to understand that a lot of people never had to grow up with those type of imageries as who they are and what they are before in their lives. They never had to deal with that.
It was, but you also ran into a time of a lot of political correctness, a lot of tearing down of statues, a lot of, changing names because I get some of that. But at the same time, I think we took it too far as a society. Period. I'm not saying black, white, Asian, Latino. I think we all took it too far. I think there was a point in time where people were just so dead on against everything. It was just a couple of years that they were just dead set on ruining the world at one point to me. But to each their own. I don't agree with it.
I know I get where you're coming from, because that world was shaped for certain people's imagery to be accepted. So I would think that you're ending my world as well too. If you start tearing things down and saying, you know what, this is not good for everybody else. If I went and got a person who was the leader of basically the rebellion that wanted slavery, and I thought that it was horrible that a bunch of black kids should go to a school named after him, a person who was a treasonous traitor to this country, I don't know how that becomes a problem to somebody. Who would that become a problem to? But that's our heritage. Your heritage is being a traitor. Well, that's not good for us. We don't need that around us. Period. I don't want to ever celebrate a traitor in this country. Never ever. No. In this, I don't think that's a good thing at all. I think I don't know how if we ever have done that in this nation before. You know what I mean? And to me, I think that when something's been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years, that's been pushed on us, and with no kind of no one put any cut on it, it just came straight at you in your face. Whatever it is, this is the way we depict you. This is who you are. We'll play in blackface. We'll do whatever else. We'll make the Egyptians all white people when we show you to them as actors. Everything's treated like this. It's going to seem like a swing when the truth comes out, because the truth has to come out at some point in time.
I get that. I'm not against that. I just think it went to the point of, when you're starting to rip down statues and, causing public chaos, you can do it a better way. You can do it in a civil manner. You can go petition. You can go say, listen, these are the reasons why we think this needs to be taken down. Do it in a manner befitting a human being. Don't go crazy about it. That's the way I look at it.
Do you think that a U.S. military base or a ship should be named after a Confederate traitor? All of them are traitors. All of them. There's not one Confederate that I can consider not a traitor to this country.
No, I don't think it should have been. But
there are bases.
But you got to remember the time that it happened. Now that they renamed Fort Bliss not Fort Bliss, but Fort Benning, back to Fort Bragg, it's not named after the same people. It's not named after the original.
Fact of the matter is,
Bragg,
it'll be changed again when we get another president in office, and this will just be a game that they play, and this is just to me a dumb game to play. It doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. You're wasting tax dollars.
Well, you were wasting tax dollars. Change them anyway.
No, I don't think. I think what you're doing is correcting history. I think that's where people. I think that's where we kind of get into a point to where we get so angry about things changing, because these were lies that were told. These are not truths. These were lies. No. With the way they came in and they said, "Oh, this is what happened," when this is not what really happened. We have a whole holiday based on Christopher Columbus discovering America, which is not even true. Which was never true. It was a lie. There's people here already. There's lots of things, and so, but this is what's been put into my head. I was a kid. This is what I learned in school. No one cared about what I learned in school, but they don't want to talk to kids about slavery and other things that are going on in this country right now. They don't want to talk about that anymore. And this is not to try to shut down, a conversation, because sometimes there's hard conversations that will be had, and I respect your opinion on them. And so, but the fact of the matter is, they could tell me that and have no problem. Why is it wrong to tell a person the truth? This is what.
I don't have a problem with that. I think you're 100% right. But what I didn't like was the way it was done, where there was public violence, there was burning of shit, there was tearing down of shit. I mean, it was not done in a civil manner, and I think it could have been handled differently.
Like Charlottesville, like in Charlottesville, public violence when the guy rammed the truck
everywhere.
Now, I think that there was a lot less when it came to the statue thing. There was a lot more protest as far as just tear it down. I think any kind of violence may have occurred during the summer when everyone was in for COVID and Black Lives Matter kind of pushed. Once they saw the thing with George Floyd, people just they were already cooped up and they were sick of it. People get sick of certain things. They just had a protest on a bridge where these cops came and they beat the crap out of the protesters. And there's only 6 people on the bridge. It was just crazy how they punched on this guy in his face for no reason. There was already 6 guys on top of him, but you're taking out your anger on this. What they're doing right now is they're showing you, hey, we're going to put down any type of resistance. And that's what this country is based off of, is resistance and change and understanding.
Not violent resistance. Not violent.
Yeah, I mean, The first thing we had here was the
good
founding
taste.
of this country was violent resistance. The founding of this country was violent resistance. That's the fact. Right or wrong?
But no, that's true. But there was a reason for that. There were reasons behind that. I mean, what are the? If you're not following, okay, so if you're talking about ICE and immigration,
no, I'm talking about any type of resistance that we have to authority in this country. That's what made America great. A great country, because we feel free, even though we're not in a lot of ways. We feel free. We can do what we want, and we're gonna put. If something's wrong, we're gonna fight about it. Other countries are gonna put out the military and they're gonna start shooting. That's what they're gonna do. That's where we're heading right now with this president who's in office. That's what's going to end up happening sooner than later. Quote, mark my words. It's going to be something that he's going to do where he's going to push the button. Trust me, man. He's already tried it in LA. You don't think that he did, but he did. He tried it in LA already. He put in 2,000 National Guards and he sent in like 700. Was it Marines? Man, we've never had that happen. Not with something. What
was the reason for it, Wesley? What was the reason for it?
Nothing, because you have a few people protesting on a bridge. It wasn't like the whole city was burning. That's not true. It was not a factual. They displayed something that was not real. They showed it was a little small. This was smaller than the LA riots of '92. Way smaller. It was you have to go back and look. I did research on this. It was a small portion of LA where this was happening at. It was in the broader sense of it. It wasn't going on. It just made you feel that way. It wasn't happening that way. It's just not true. You know what I mean? You have to go back and look at it. He's pushing the buttons. He's stirring the pot, man. He's trying to make these blue states and blue cities defy him to the point where he can send in the military and show and but he's not doing it where if you're going to do things there, do it everywhere. But I don't believe he should do it anywhere where you should never send in troops.
You also have to remember these states and cities are known as sanctuary cities, which there is no such thing. There is no such thing as a sanctuary city.
So if there's no such thing, then why are you sending? Okay, cool. Then that's great. Then why are you?
It doesn't exist.
Why are Texas sending people to those cities then and saying, "Hey, you're a sanctuary"? If it doesn't exist, right? There's no such thing, correct?
Because they want to accept them.
No. You just said there's no such thing, right? It's not realistic. Okay.
There's no law stating that it's a sanctuary city.
So then,
am I wrong? Am I wrong?
I think
is there a law in the book that says?
I think that they probably pass laws within their own, because these are individual states and cities at that point in time. This is not federal.
Those laws
are superseded by federal law.
Exactly. So therefore, they aren't those laws.
So technically, exist. So technically, it doesn't exist. So how can Texas then take people and send them to those places, because those laws aren't even real?
Because those cities take people in. They've taken in. They've said, "Hey,"
but those laws are not real.
They said, "No. They are allowed." They said, bring them up here. We don't care. Bring them."
They never said that.
They
never said that. They basically said, if people are here, we accept you. They didn't say bring anyone here. They said here we're not going to treat you. We're not going to treat you like they treat you in other states and cities and things of that nature, where they're trying to act like they don't want you there, but they really do. Because then you heard what Trump said. Oh, the farmers, let's give them the okay to tell us who can stay in this country and who can't. Come on, they really do want you there, because they're going to work for them for dirt cheap. They really, like, was it 40-something% of the?
Yeah, I know we've gone over this. 40% of the workforce.
But even I think it's even higher than that. Like construction crews.
I think it was
42%, but those construction crews, like over 40% of the construction crews in Texas are migrant workers as well too. Like people who do not, who don't have legal documentation. So I mean, these people, so you're a huge workforce of the state who's acting like they really don't want you there.
But there's also
using this labor
that aren't doing that aren't working or taking money from the state that they live in, or whatever it is, they're getting benefits for not doing anything. We have millions of people doing that today, and that's draining resources, and mostly in blue states.
There's 71% of all economic output is from blue counties. Blue counties, not even blue state, blue counties. Over 50% of the entire output of the United States of America are from us, like from I think 8 or 10 blue cities. 50% of the economic output of the entire United States of America is from like 8 blue cities.
I don't know about that.
I have facts.
I don't know about
that. I got facts.
I'll look that up, but I don't think so.
It might be 12, but let's just say it's like 8 to 12 blue cities. 71%. Go back and look it up, Because even I know that Gavin Newsom went on. I can't remember it was a guy who was a Republican. He has a podcast. It's like Sean, whatever his name, I forget his name, Sean something. Went on his podcast, spit these facts out, and Sean's like, this is true. I mean, Texas takes $71 billion from the federal government, takes it as well for a form of welfare. California pays out $83 billion to the federal government in the form of taxes to help the rest of these states. These are just facts, man. 71% of our country's economic output are from blue counties.
So if that's the case, hold on. If that's the case, why are people leaving California, leaving New York to go to red states?
Probably because it's cheaper, but you didn't know what the taxes in Texas are higher for people on the poorer side than they are for people who have the money.
We're not talking about Texas. We're talking about California and New York because their taxes are so high because they're terrible.
Who has the largest government? Who has the largest population?
California.
Okay, so until that changes, we shouldn't. And you also said there's 20-something million illegals in this country, and they're mostly coming through Texas and maybe California and probably Arizona and Mexico, right? So they should have a huge. They should easily be able to take over the population of California with no problem. Until that happens, I don't really. When you're moving into barren areas,
they're going to those states because they're allowed. They're not going to get. They're not going to be sent back.
It's because
it's not cheaper to live. It's not cheaper to live in California.
Cheaper to live in Texas,
and there's a lot of illegals.
It's cheaper to live in Texas. It's cheaper to live in Texas. It's a lot cheaper to live in Texas. But you got to imagine.
I don't think they pay state payroll tax.
I'm not sure.
In Texas.
But
I know
when
Florida doesn't.
I think about this. This is why a lot of people moved away from where they live at. It's going to happen until it changes. And people are saying, "Don't come here. You're raising our cost of living." They're saying is you're raising our cost. Okay.
But see, here's the problem: California, New York, run by Democrats for how many years now?
Oh, goodness, man. We're not going to do this right here because I don't want to get run by Democrats, but they're doing
and they're running it into the ground. Why do you think taxes are so
California would be like the fourth largest GDP in the entire world. Would have the fourth largest. California would have the fourth largest GDP in the entire world if they were to separate from the United States right now.
And how many billions of dollars?
New York is up there as well too.
And how many billions of dollars in debt are they?
I'm not going to say California's any bill. I don't know what they are. I mean, let's look at these other states and talk about that as well. So let's not, let's talk about the red states that have the lowest education, lowest healthcare results, poorest states. Come on, let's be real here.
Better taxes.
They don't have nobody to tax. They have no one to tax. No one, because no one lives in most of these states. No one does. Let's just be real. Let's stop acting like blue states help this country would not exist, like Trump likes to say, if it were not for blue states and blue counties. 71% of all economic output are from blue counties. 71%. Take those away, you got nothing. You got an agricultural giant. That's what you got here, pretty much. So let's not act like, these are facts. You're going to be able to go back and look these things up. These are all facts. And this is just what it is. We don't want to sit back and we shouldn't have an internal war because you're not going to win that. It's just not going to happen. You guys all California, blah, blah, blah. Everything's so bad about these places, but they're the ones putting the money into the government. You know what I mean?
I think the real problem is Oregon, but I'm just saying that's just me.
Oh, now Oregon's the problem now. Oregon's probably mostly a red state.
The only reason it's a problem because you're living there, man.
I don't live in Oregon. I live in Washington. I don't know why you keep saying that. I don't live in Oregon. I live in Washington. Washington is one of the best, has one of the best economic outputs of it anywhere else too. We got all the big, Amazon was here. We got Microsoft. All the big dogs.
Did you say Amazon was there?
I think that might have moved some of the headquarters. He started up here in this.
Yeah.
We still have them here.
But he got smart and moved them the hell out of there.
Boeing was here, but you know what? They still have. I think their base, their headquarters is not here anymore. But we still have Boeing here in our state. They understand where the smart people are around here. Okay, they can move. I'm like this. Let's move the easy operations or anything in nuts and bolts. We can go ahead and they send that somewhere else. But any of the important stuff, let's go ahead and keep that where the smart guys are up there in Washington. That's what they're gonna do. Okay, let's be honest here. Okay, we anyway can let's put doors on the cars. Yeah, we can go ahead and send that off to somewhere down in Arkansas or somewhere. Yeah, but the important parts, the computer systems of the car, let's go ahead and keep those in the blue states where we're going to have the engineers and the people to do the work.
Dallas has become boom
hub
when it comes to computers
definitely.
and technology, and it has taken over from Silicon Valley.
No.
Oh yeah.
No, it has not. I'm trying to. Hey, you have more Fortune 500 companies in California than anywhere else. Factually, go look all this stuff.
I don't know if that's true anymore.
Go look it up. Gavin Newsom came out and said, listen, I looked it up too. Gavin Newsom came out and said
anything Gavin Newsom says anyway.
It's not like I like the guy, but I mean, he made me like him a little bit more with this interview, a little bit. But I don't like some of his policies. But he came out and said this on it's like Sean Spicer or somebody. I don't know. Maybe it's not his name, Sean Spicer. Sean Strickland, I think that's what his name was. His name is.
No, like I think Spicer has one. Spicer has a podcast.
Is it Spicer or is it Strickland? Is it the guy with the bald head? You know what I mean? I think it's Strickland. I almost want to say it's Strickland, but this guy's a Republican. He's like, one of those guys who does the conspiracies and all that kind of stuff. Had him on his show and he spit out all these facts and he was like, man, say it again. He's like, yeah, I looked it up. It's true. And this guy, this is a Republican.
Your facts are wrong.
Oh, wait. Go ahead. Tell me. What is
New
my
York
fact?
City? New York City has the most Fortune 500 companies.
Oh, New York City. What's second?
With 49. Chicago is second with 30. Dallas is fourth. Houston is third with 24. Dallas
you said cities. 22. You said cities now. No. States.
Cities. Look, they're states.
You're talking.
New York is a state. New York City is in the state of New York.
Oh man, this is crazy! I can't believe you made that. This is a huge gaffe right here, online, in front of everyone. We're not taking this out because Chicago is not a state.
It's a
Dallas
city
is not a
state. In the state of Illinois.
It doesn't matter. So, but okay. So now you have to say, okay, you got
all right,
Bay Area, you got LA. Look at states. Yeah,
state.
Do that one. Yeah,
California has 58.
Oh,
Texas and New York have 52 each.
Oh, so number one is California. Oh, but I was right though. But I was right.
But Illinois has 32.
But I was right.
But you're not. But you said by a long mile. You said by a long mile. I didn't say that.
I said they have more. I never said that. You just put words in my mouth. This is crazy.
Let's rewind it. Let's rewind it. You said they have more by a margin.
No, I wouldn't have to say that. Why would I say that? Why would I just say they got more than anyone else? You don't know all that matter. Six Fortune 500 companies is a lot, though. Don't act like that's not a lot.
We're gonna rewind.
Let's not act like 6 Fortune 500 companies is not a lot. That's a lot.
That 58 in California will no longer be there after the next couple of years because they know they can't make any money there.
You know what people know? That's
the truth. That's facts.
Texas is a state that I mean, that's not facts until it happens. How you know? It's crazy. It's crazy.
I guarantee you, within the last 10 years. It probably went from 100 down to 58. I'm not saying that's true or a 100% fact. That's my opinion. But I guarantee you that gap closed and it's gonna flip-flop.
It's probably dropped a few. We've got Texas trying to become more business friendly. But let's be honest, people don't want to live in Texas. People don't want to live in Texas. They don't have any good water. It's horrible over there. People like living in California. It's nice. Texas is not a bad place. Don't get me wrong. I've been to Houston. I've been a bunch of places in Texas. Not a bad place. But it's just a lot of Texas is like a country within itself. It's so big. It's huge. You know what I mean? However, it's like it's so barren in so many different places. You're gonna have to move to it's like a city type of environment. You have to move there. I think Elon's kind of created his own.
So in 2015, California had 70 Fortune 500 companies.
Mm-hmm.
So in 10 years, they've already dropped down to 58 Fortune 500 companies within 10 years.
Okay, it happens. It's part of the game. People might have moved offshore. Things happen, man.
But what's the reason for it? Taxes.
Who knows? I think it's taxes, but you have to remember their taxes, who they're taxing in their state, they're taxing the wealthy people in their state. Most of the people who are being taxed have lower tax rates. Of people who are poor in their states have lower, and even middle class have lower tax rates than people in other states who like Texas and people like that. That's a fact. You know what I mean? It's all factual information. Yeah, that came out and someone spoke on, and that's why I'm regurgitating it now. These are all facts. So, I mean, depending upon who you're taxing, if you have a lot more wealthy people, which California has in their state, they're going to get taxed, and they should. And that's just how I think it should happen as well too. And so, I mean, hey, sometimes you're going to lose a little bit with that. But at the same time, if you gained all these Fortune 500 people, why are you still taking $71 billion from the federal government? More than what you put in.
That one I don't know. That one I don't know.
Sounds horrible.
That's a fact that I don't know.
$71 billion. Yeah, California puts in $83 billion more, and Texas takes out $71 billion more. Look it up. That's a fact as well. And you know what I'm saying? But and so that's how I look at things. We have a bunch of debtor states who are taking money out, and they're mostly all red states, and they're complaining about everybody else. But you're not even doing anything to kind of contribute here. You're eating off the land. You're living high on the hog off everyone else's hard work, and you want to talk about them. It's crazy. It's like a kid talking about their parents when their parents are paying all the bills. Oh, I hate my parents. They're the worst. Oh my God. Why do they get to vote and put people in office? Because they're the ones who's making the money and putting the money back into the federal government. That's what's going on around here. Yeah,
so they do take money, but they also give more money back to the federal government than what they receive.
Who?
Texas.
No, they say they take out $71 billion more dollars than what they get, what they put in.
I'm looking at usaspending.gov.
I'm just saying this is something that was talked about, that was put out in the open, and it was not refuted. It was not refuted by a Republican on the other side who said, you know what, it's facts. I looked it up. Okay. Facts.
I don't doubt it.
I mean, I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's because of like military bases, something. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the energy sector. I don't know. But that's what's happening in that state right there.
2022, California received $173 billion.
But they put in more than what they put in more money than what they took out.
So is Texas.
We'll have to look that one back up, and we'll get back with you guys on the next episode. But with that, we'll go ahead and close things out. I'm your host, Wesley. This is my co-host, Steve. This is Civil Discourse, and we'll see you guys next week.